Do you know the story of the two naval officers in Valletta who met a female ghost? I found this in Eric Brockman's book, The Last Bastion, published in 1961. I'm not sure if this is the first time that the story is documented or if Brockman found it in other sources. Well, when Malta was still a British colony, two British naval officers were walking down Valletta to go to the customs and join the ship. It seems that an elegant and soft-spoken woman accosted them and asked for help. She asked them if they could help her open the door of her house in St. Ursula Street because she had been locked out. She had left the key on the inside and had sent her servants home for the village feast. This seemed rather strange. Why didn't she ask the neighbours? Why didn't she go to the police station that was nearby? How did she leave the key in the lock from the inside if she went out? These doubts faded away when they saw the beauty of this woman and the waft of adventure that they smelled. So they followed her to the house. Now, the house had an imposing doorway with dolphin-shaped knockers gleaming in the moonlight. The younger officer climbed on the shoulders of the other, managed to reach a window and unlocked it without any problem at all. He landed on a soft carpet and picked up a nearby candelabra. Being a smoker, he lit the candles and walked downstairs, passing alongside portraits of impressive people on the walls. When he arrived downstairs, he found exactly what she said, the large key still in the lock. He turned it with ease and opened the door for the lady and his friend. Of course, the lady was very happy and she thanked them profusely and enticed them to stay on for a drink. Now that the woman seemed genuine, they could not refuse the offer. She led them to the richly adorned living room where they sat down and she offered them a glass of wine in crystal-cut glasses. And they chatted for a while. Soon after, one of them asked for permission to smoke. She was a bit surprised, but accepted. After the first glass of wine, she offered them another. However, they decided to move on because it was getting late and they were looking forward to settling on the ship. The next morning, they pondered over the strangeness of this event. One of them, however, noticed that he had left behind him his silver cigarette case. Apart from its intrinsic worth, it had sentimental value too. They decided that after lunch they would go again. It was also a good excuse to go and check out that mysterious woman and her wonderful residence in St. Ursula Street. After navigating the awkward steps, they arrived at the house, but somehow it looked different. The dolphin-shaped knockers were not shining now. They looked green and dirty. The door and walls looked scratched and in need of a good coat of paint, and the steps were dirty and had weeds growing under them. They pulled on the chain, which resulted in a squeaking noise. The knocks on the door were not answered. They considered doing what they had done the previous night, use the window. They planned on taking the silver case and leave. They would have done nothing wrong. So they followed the same routine of climbing on the shoulders and going through the window. But where was the candelabra? He had to strike a number of matches to see, burning his fingers in the process. The key, however, was in the same place, but the house looked bare and dirty. Dust and cobwebs were everywhere. The table was covered in a layer of dust, and the spider seemed to have spun its silk threads over the cigarette case. Yes, it was still there. They left in a hurry, but on the way, they asked some questions to the neighbours. Nobody knew the lady, and the house had been empty for years. What had happened? Had they travelled in time to when that lady had been alive? Notwithstanding Einstein's theory of relativity, we know that this kind of time travel cannot happen. Had they met the spirit of a woman who had long been dead? Let's examine the story briefly. It is a fascinating story that would be thrilling to narrate on some cold winter evening or during some historical or hysterical ghost tour. If it was a spirit, how could she pour wine if she had no body mass? Was the wine a spirit too? Well, in a way it was. Did she have a ghostly wardrobe with spirit clothes? Did she have spirit glasses which fade away at will? How did she speak and hear if she had no physical organs of speech and hearing? This does not make sense at all. The book mentions no names and no dates, and so the story cannot be verified. So according to the law of lex parsimoniae, or Occam's razor, there must be a simple explanation. This is either an urban legend traveling from country to country and changing its circumstances according to the location, or perhaps it was some prank or told story invented by the officers themselves. We shall never know the truth, but it definitely was not supernatural or paranormal, because extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. There is absolutely no evidence that it actually happened. We just enjoy it without being obliged to believe its veracity. And, if you want to believe it, you are free to do so. I don't. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening. If you have any comments, any more information, any questions, you can send me an email on Gmail, shettico@gmail.com, and I'll try to answer or comment about what you tell me. In the meantime, thank you very much, and bye-bye.